Yo, man, this week's episode of Kill la Kill, straight up boobs, just everywhere, boobs, and you're like, whoa. Now, listen, granted, okay, there's a lot more fan service for dudes than for girls, because for girls, all they have going on right now is the professor. And the professor, he's still doing it. Like, every time this guy comes in, every time he's about to remove his shades, he has that, like, pop music in the background. Like, like every time. But they can complain. You can't complain. You're not allowed to complain because you have him. But on the opposite side, dude, whoa. Straight up boobs. Boobs and ass everywhere. And honestly, I wasn't complaining. I was like, fuck it, man. Like, I'm just sitting back like, ugh. Like, I'm just sitting back. I have my headphones in, and I'm just listening, and I'm immersed in this, because every scene, when it came to the fight, well, not every scene, but most of the scenes, actually, almost all the scenes, when it came to the fight between Satsuki and Ryuko, were just like tits and ass shots. And listen, honestly, I read Fairy Tail. They were like, it was just like they would dedicate an entire chapter to that shit. But in this case, it's just being shameless. It's like, fuck it. Apparently, when it came to Ryuko, she was not able to harness the full powers of her Kamui because she had shame in the way she looked. Satsuki, she didn't care. And that's why she was off the gate able to use the powers of the Kamui fully. Because Satsuki, she's even said, I will bare my breast in front of the world. And she just has this ridiculously high self-confidence. And she's completely shameless. She has no shame whatsoever. In the case of Ryuko, she had shame. Because she looked ridiculous. Sure, most of her body was exposed because she was wearing this outfit. Therefore, that shame that she had held her back. It held the Kamui back. So the reason why the Kamui was always taking Senketsu, the reason why it was always taking so much blood, was because of the fact that she herself was holding back. The moment she said, fuck it, because after this weird random speech by Mako, like, get naked, because you have a great rap, you have opai, and it's just like, where are you coming from? How'd you get in here? What's happening? I was thinking that Satsuki was just gonna cut her head off, like, yeah, that's what I was thinking, but no. Apparently, it would just basically have confidence in yourself. That's what I'm trying to say, basically. Have confidence in yourself because you look good, and get naked. And apparently, wearing the Kamui is like wearing a skin, it's basically, in order for you to utilize its full powers, you need to wear it as if it gets your own skin. And she didn't do that because she had shame of the Kamui, so she finally does realize that she's able to utilize the Kamui's full powers, and she's now shameless, Ryuko, when she wears the Kamui. Or at least in this episode. Next episode, we have no idea. She may regain some of that shame. I have no idea. But still, that's the whole point now. The whole point now is that you gotta bare your breast and ass from the entire school, from the entire world, and you must have no shame whatsoever. That's how you utilize the full powers of the Kamui. So obviously, they're going in favor of the ecchi tits and ass shots. That's very obvious now. And what's very surprising is that when you look at the first episode, there was no hints of this. Well, no, at the end of the episode, when you see your first in this getup, you're thinking, well, you know, it's not a big deal at all. But in episode 2, they spiked the fan service for both guys and girls. And then episode 3, it's like, whoa, when Satsuki when she comes in there, and she's putting in her fan service, and she's shaking, there is no blushing with her. It's like, here are my titties. What? And you're like, whoa, like, wait, pause, like, what's happening right now? So, just take it as you would, alright? Just take it as you would. Me personally, I'm not complaining. I was just sitting back and enjoying myself in full detail. I was like, whoa. And then, yo, listen, man, I'm not a hentai dude, but I'm about to be fuck, I'm about to check out some Ryuko shit right now. Like, like hentai, Ryuko, Satsuki, let's go. My goodness. What's that one place called? Faku. I'm gonna hit up Faku. Like, where's all that Kill la Kill stuff? I want it. So, just saying. Now, when it comes to the episode in of itself, though, right? From a structure standpoint, from an animation standpoint, from a story progression standpoint, from all those standpoints, first of all, mainly it was the fight. That was the main focus of the actual episode itself. The fight, and they spent little time with the guy, the professor, Akigami or something like that. And the thing about that was he actually explains about the whole life fibers. Those little strands you see in the uniforms when they were sewing it in the sewing club. When we have Ryuko absorb the fibers, those are apparently called life fibers. And this would actually hint that Ryuko may be stronger. Well, she probably will be stronger than Satsuki at the end of at the end of the show, or at some point in the show, because of the fact that we see her uniform every time she beats a Goku uniform member. Her Kamui absorbs life fibers. Now, maybe the Junketsu, the one she has, Satsuki, maybe that already has, because they're already made fully out of life fibers. But maybe her Junketsu has more life fibers than Ryuko's Senketsu. I don't know. But her powers, Ryuko, are gonna grow because every time she beats a 2-star or 2 stars and 3-star guys, she gains life fibers. So she gains like little power-ups. So that's gonna be the reason why, at least in my opinion, at this point in time, she's gonna trump Satsuki at the end of the day. Now, also, the guy explains how apparently he used to work for her father, and he was the one who actually set up the Kamui underneath the pile of clothes. So when she cut her arm, he purposely set up so where the Kamui would actually take in the blood. So that was all this guy's plan. And then he says basically, I got into infiltrate because I want to take down the Kiryu. I think, yeah, like the Satsuki Kiryu, just like her last name, their family. He wants to take them down, pretty much. So that's his whole shtick right now. And actually, we see at the end of the episode, he was gonna get involved. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, what can this guy do? Because the moment it seemed like Ryuko was gonna get like taken out, before Mako steps in there, this guy is like on the windowsill, like, yeah, let's go. And I'm like, are you gonna do something? Like, can you fuck with Satsuki right now? She's on some other level shit. She's Mystic Saiyan right now. Like, can you fuck with her? No, I don't know. I mean, because all this guy's done so far is take off his clothes, literally. So, what can he do? Well, we'll see. We'll see. Now, maybe he has a Goku uniform hidden somewhere, like a 4-star, 5-star. Because they actually tried that in the episode. Because they spent some time on that too, where they try and actually make a 5-star, because the 5-star Goku uniform is 50% life fibers. The 3-star, 30%, the 2-star, 20%, so on and so forth. And apparently, people can't handle 5-star or 50% life fibers in the uniforms. So that's why it's so shocking when the Kamui, which is 100% life fibers, people can handle that, like Ryuko and Satsuki. But that being said, and then we see that one guy, the tech 3-star guy, he actually takes out a 5-star Goku uniform wearer with ease. Like, yeah, like precision strike. End of story. Now, when we see Satsuki go into her manor for a few minutes, they speak about her mother and how her mother does not like the fact that Satsuki's wearing this uniform and says no. And how apparently back in the day when she was a kid, her father said, like, this is your wedding dress. For some reason now, I'm starting to believe that the person that killed Ryuko's father was Satsuki's mother. And the reason why I believe that is because of the fact that when you take a look at that flashback in the first episode, we see the person jumping off into the sunset or into the darkness with a blue scissor half. And when you take a look at the Kamui that Satsuki has, it twinkles blue. While on the other end of the spectrum, we have Ryuko's, that twinkles red, and she has a red scissor half. So maybe these two Kamuis were initially one, then her father, Ryuko's father, somehow split it in half. Because maybe the scissor itself is like you know, somehow tied to the comedies themselves. And then once the scissor becomes whole, half blue, half red, then the comedies become whole, and then they merge to like one like half red, half blue suit. I have no idea, but that's the way. But that's what I'm thinking right now. I could be wrong, but we'll see how it goes in the actual future episodes. But the pacing overall and the structure was pretty good because they spent a lot of time in the fight, and the fight in and of itself is where most of the great animation comes into play. And I'll show you a few clips right here and there. Right, this first clip where you actually see at some point when Ryuko's attacking Satsuki, Satsuki gets the upper hand, blocks her attack without even looking, and then she brings her sword down, sends Ryuko flying with the end of her sword with the symbol poke, and I'm like, what the? What's that? Whoa! And even before then, when these two are walking up towards each other, and it was weird because like they walk towards each other, they meet in the middle. Then at the next part of the scene, they're like right back like where they started, and they walk towards each other again. And apparently their sheer will was creating like wind and shockwaves. And I'm sitting here like, what the fuck is this? This is crazy. And speaking of shockwaves, at the end when they do, and again you should see the clips that were, you should see the clips here and there where it's like the final shockwave, and then it's like they hit, their swords hit. And it's like the shockwave goes out, then comes in, then goes out again. You're like, what the? Like, this shit was nuts. This is not some other level shit, man. So, wow, the animation was superb. It was crisp. It was smooth, like a babbling brook on a Sunday morning in the middle of Canada. Smooth, like whoa, smooth, rolling down, real smooth. No friction, just smooth. So, like, wow, like an ass covered in baby oil, smooth. Like, well, and speaking of smooth asses, I mean, Jesus Christ, Satsuki, whoa, she had so many ass shots, and I could not stop staring. I was like, God damn, where's the Faku? My goodness, yo, I'm about to get sucked in the head. This is not good. No, this is not good. This is not good at all, man. I thought it was a real porn. I thought it was a real life dude. But fucking now I'm going imaginary. I mean, just straight up smooth, and I'm like, oh, sweet mother of sakes. Like, like I was shaking. I was like, oh. I was like, yeah, it was crazy. 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 Like every time they show the picture, and I mean, I'm not gonna show them because it's a little bit too risque, but every time they did, I was like, oh shit, bow down. You know, like Triple H, like, bow down to the king. But in this case, it just bow down to Satsuki's ass. Like, straight up. Straight up. Alright? So, I mean, my goodness. My goodness. Alright. I mean, some of the uniforms, just like, and whenever they transform to it, that's something I must point out. Animation was good then too. When we see that the needles go into their actual flesh, take the blood, we see the blood itself soak into the actual fibers, and then the fibers themselves, like, or like the blood itself, like, goes throughout the entire course of the uniform. So that was complete. So when we see her, or when we see Satsuki do it first, you can tell she's more powerful than Ryuko because her transformation was completely different. Furthermore, when they faced off against each other, she was straight up twinkling the entire time. Ryuko wasn't. So you could already tell that she was more powerful from Jump Street. It's just that when they do the whole thing and like the fibers like expand and it's like some weird like power up and it's like the fibers are circling around them and like you see Ryuko and Satsuki, titties flapping in the wind. Like titties have heroine, like self-heroine. It's like dun, 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 and you're like, okay, what the hell? So again, man, like this episode caught my attention in ways I would not think it would. I'm being dead honest here. I'm being completely honest. So I mean, maybe it's a good, probably a bad thing actually, but fuck it, we move on. What I will say is that the story progression in one episode, shocking. This is episode 3, and we're already like this far in. This is episode 3, and all of a sudden we're getting like all these hints, all this stuff for the future. How now she's like, okay, so I'll fight you again, but this time you're gonna have every club come at your ass. Every come at you, and you need to beat them all before I face you again. And then we have the professor. He's like, what are you planning? Because he's thinking about how there's a deeper meaning behind all this. And again, I think it ties something to do with her mother, Satsuki's mother, because I think that her father is dead. And oh, and one last thing. Well, one more thing. Apparently, the reason why, at least in the case of Ryuko, her Kamui has like this weird sailor, real super etchy sailor uniform getup is because her father made it that way, or at least that's what the professor said. So, and when you look at the beginning of the episode, Satsuki's father said this is gonna be your wedding dress, and when you think about it, it's like, so if she put that on, she would have looked that way. She would have looked that way during her wedding? Marrying who exactly? I mean, I don't know. It's just that there's a lot of weird things going on here. Like, the whole premise of the story may be something so pervy, I'm afraid. It may be just mega perv stuff going on. Like, the whole purpose of the uniform was to have these chicks be shameless in their exhibitionism. And that's not even a word, but whatever. Maybe Ryuko's father and Satsuki's father were just mega pervs. Like, you know, like, I like you, and I want you. I don't know. I have no idea anymore. Now I'm just, oh my god. But then I'm just, if they're thinking about this stuff when these girls were little kids, oh no. Oh no. I mean, talk about thinking for the future. Don't talk about planning for the future. Shit. Good lord. You know what, man? Now I'm just making speculation. But it's gone in ways that I haven't expected to go, this series, in episode 3. So it may go even crazier routes later on. And it probably will, because this is going to be a 25 series episode. And surprise, surprise, they haven't dialed down on the fast pace just yet. I mean, at some point, there will be a point in time where it's going to slow down. I believe so. I do. Maybe for like a few episodes here and there, like maybe 3 or 4 episodes, but that's gonna be it. And then they're gonna go back into it. Like maybe someone dies, and then Ryuko has like a depression. I don't know, but either way, I'll leave it at that. So the rating overall, the episode was phenomenal. It was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, just whoa, breathtaking. And like there was one part where I was like, what on earth? Like there was like literally when Satsuki hits her with the end of her sword, we see her like walk up the side of the freaking building, and it's like some 3D game shit. So, I mean, I don't know, man. But the episode overall, I did enjoy it. There was, in fact, a lot of story progression. The huge budget that they had for the animation is phenomenal. Obviously, they put a lot of effort and money into this episode. In fact, that reminds me, one of my subscribers, Blue Sakuga, told me that apparently the person who storyboarded and directed this episode was this individual named Akira. And this individual named Akira actually worked in unison with an individual by the name of Hiroyuki. And this person, Hiroyuki, has actually worked on the Gurren Lagann series and other projects like that. So basically, big time individuals were the ones who directed this episode. So, again, you can see a lot of effort, a lot of money, a lot of big name people coming in on Kill la Kill on episode 3. Alright? We have at least 22 more to go. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. So, I'll leave it at that. I'm done. Love it. Episode rating overall, my personal opinion, I thought this shit was amazing. Man. You know, fuck that. Who am I kidding? Yeah. I'll give it the highest rating I give. This was a episode. So, I'm done. Alright? Huge story progression. King of Lightning. Be sure, of course, rate, comment, and subscribe as always. Peace. Have a nice day.